Hello, everyone. I thought I'd try and do a video with also sharing my screen as Joanne kind of showed us in her feedback. So hopefully this will post to YouTube and you'll be able to see it and hear me and everything like that. So I have highlighted the questions that we have to answer. So how is the Every Student Succeed Act, or ESSA, impacting Oregon, and Senate Bill 290? If I go down here to my nifty little screen, the ESSA, you see here the four key areas: assessment and standards, school and district accountability, educator effectiveness, evaluations, highly qualified teacher, paraeducator empowerment, school and district improvement. This is a change from what we had known prior to the ESSA. There was the ESEA that expired in 2016, and this took its place. The thing that I most noticed was that it seems that the Every Student Succeeds Act is highly collaborative. I think that what ESSA also does, it replaces the No Child Left Behind, and in looking at the framework for No Child Left Behind and the framework for the Every Student Succeeds Act, it's pretty remarkable that we had the No Child Left Behind, and it took us that long to try and plot our way through that and then get to the ESSA and see the change and what's happened. In terms of what it's doing to us, the school districts have to obviously adhere to what's been put in place. And if we go to, well, there's a definition of Senate Bill 290. But if we go to OAR 581.022.2420, Educational Leadership Administrator Standards, and we look at what is laid out here, I've highlighted it. I'm going to go to a different site, actually the Westland-Wilsonville School District site, and show you what they have in place in terms of verbiage and standards. So if I go to, let's see, here's the evaluation of licensed administrators. The standards include visionary leadership, instructional improvement, effective management, inclusive. It's the exact same thing as here. So our district has taken the standards and just copied them into their evaluation of licensed administrators. Here is the evaluation of staff, which does also conform and comply with SB 290 and Every Student Succeeds Act. And so here is the Westland-Wilsonville evaluation practices for administrators to evaluate teachers. You can see down here that the legal references, they have everything covered. I will say that we don't have anything in place yet for the SSA, which is coming in January, but there's been a lot of talk about that and how that's going to change kind of how we operate. I think, from what I've heard from our administrators talking, we will be able to hire more staff, both licensed staff and classified staff, to obviously help with the success of students. And it may mean smaller class sizes. However, we don't have enough classrooms to get, we just don't have enough classrooms. we're pretty packed. I mean, I guess they'll move teachers or out of their classrooms when they have a prep period and put other people in there. But I know we're doing that already, and I don't know if there's room to do that even more. So it'll be really interesting to see how at least West Lynn deals with the SSA, which comes into effect for us in January. I mean, I think that's at least when the money comes. So I can get into the evaluation of staff. This is all nice. The language is correct, and what it's designed to what outcomes it is designed to try and establish. Really looks good on paper, as many things do look good on paper. But when you put it into practice, and I think many of us in week one, or the first assignment of this week, we talked about, and I can't remember I can't remember exactly where it was, but how we've seen some of us haven't even been evaluated as teachers. We're asked to write our own reflection and then our own evaluation and sign off and give it to your cooperating or your mentor administrator, and they sign off. And I know, and it's funny, I spoke to a new administrator on Friday, and I was talking about the West Lynn practice of keeping 2 in the office and 2 out in the school, visiting classrooms, making sure students aren't taking too long to get to the bathroom and back. And she said she absolutely loves it. And we talked about whether our school board and the union had negotiated evaluations and evaluation practices. I couldn't find anything, at least in the West Lynn Wilsonville school board regulations that had any mention of how administrators were to evaluate teachers. So I'm hoping that the 10-minute drop-in, the snapshot throughout the year, can be used as an evaluation of a teacher. And I think in Marshall, the chapters we read, he talked about the one-time evaluation, which is 0.1, 0.1% of all the times that we're doing a lesson, to these snapshots that start in September for us and in August and go through June, or whenever it is that the evaluations have to be completed, and how much better a sense an administrator gets for a teacher's skill and professionalism, and where there are growth opportunities, where they need to grow, where they need to what they need to hone, and where their strengths lies. And so I really hope that and I am got a meeting set next week with our union, the head of our union, and going to ask him, what in the latest contract that was negotiated, what is the verbiage around evaluations for administrators to teachers. So I've only been at West Lynn 3 years, and nothing's changed except this year with the 2 teachers staying in the office. 2 administrators staying in the office and 2 administrators heading out into the classes. And so, and before I was a teacher for 8 years in the Lake Oswego School District, it was about the same thing as that. One scheduled visit, check some boxes, sign, and that was it. And so this new way, I'm really hopeful for, and I would hope that other districts would be able to do the same thing. So I did pull up West Lynn's report card, and it's if I can highlight here, if it'll let me, the Every Student Succeeds Act and the expiration of Oregon's ESSA flexibility waiver on August 1st,